Airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Ultimately, winning football is winning football. That's been really consistent.
Wants to run. Yes, here he goes down. Mateo Uiagalelei.
Group playing with hunger. They're in the mindset that I got to go take this. I want to get on the field. I want to play.
Sadiq inside of the 5. Hurdles his way into the end zone. Was it caught? It was. Touchdown. Evan Stewart.
It's really incredible how they work. They don't blame. They don't complain. They just come up here every single day and work their tails off.
Up the middle. Buster 5, 3, 2. Lowers his head into the end zone.
I'm just ready to attack it and figure out what we're really great at, what we got to improve at. That's the fun part for me, is what problems do we get to solve.
This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Country Financial Insurance, protect what matters, and by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks! Drink Pepsi. Now let's go to the Country Financial Studios and talk Oregon Duck football.
I don't feel like Georgie, but I'm sitting in his spot. Something's not right about this. Hey, it's Wednesday night along the West Coast, and here in Eugene and the University of Oregon, it's Coaches Show time. It's brought to you by Toyota. Head Coach Dan Lanning in the chair. We got a lot of questions for you. Got answers?
I'll try my best.
Okay, Joey Mack sitting to my right.
Yeah, I will try to be Georgie as best I can.
There you
I can
go.
never replace him, though.
Georgie reportedly is on a business trip.
That's right.
But somebody told us at the airport he had a fishing pole sticking out of his backpack. So just saying. All right.
Suspicious.
Yeah. Hey, we got a studio audience this week. We have guests in. We call them our sponsors. I say they're our friends. Country Financial, sponsoring the Country Financial Studio, which we sit in. Home of the Toyota Coaches Show. Toyota folks are here. Pacific Source Health Plan, sponsor of the Rivalry Series as well. And Dairy Mart's been with us since I can't remember when they weren't. So they're all going to be here with us tonight. Coach, we'll talk about last week a little bit. Look forward to this week. But to me, the kind of the bigger story, not just the Civil War, but is the shoe dog and the uniform, and that is just emotional.
Super cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit, and your involvement in it, your role. I know Pooh and Kenny and the players.
Yeah. How much has Phil Knight, Bill Bowerman, Penny, how much have they done for this program? And this is an opportunity for us to give them their flowers, for us to say thank you for all they've done, and the creativity behind the design of this. It really turned out pretty awesome. It speaks on the relationship of a player and his coach, and that relationship and how that grew into an unbelievable bond and created a really interesting dynamic and a special dynamic for the University of Oregon. So it's a great opportunity for us to pay tribute.
Yeah. I'm glad that you brought up that handshake, right? Like, so if you haven't seen the jersey patches, so the jersey's on the mannequin here in the studio, like, that's got to mean something to you, right? That handshake. I imagine that's special for a coach to see that recognized in something like this.
Yeah, the relationship piece, I think, is a foundation of this story, of Shoe Dog, and the story of this jersey, and the adventure behind, figuring out how this is going to work too is a big part of this story as well. So we're really glad we get to represent them in this game, and got to go take care of business as we wear them.
I just want to mention Todd Van Horn and Quinn Van Horn, who
unbelievable job.
I mean, I can't comprehend how they think, because it's different.
Yeah, you give them just a small piece, and they turn it into an unbelievable story. And this story is really well written with the way it came out. So really proud of what it looks like.
If I could stick on this note just for one more second, Coach, like to zoom out with you, before you got to the University of Oregon, what was your perception of this relationship, the power of it, and maybe how has it evolved since you've been sitting in the chair you've been sitting in?
That's a good question. I always recognized from afar, the power of Nike and what it had done for the University of Oregon, and then just being here, you have a whole different grasp of what that relationship means and how much they care about us and support us, and how much Phil and Penny care about us and support us. It's really unique. It's really special.
Bryce Boettcher got to be the guy to let Phil see that for the first time. How cool is that? A kid from Eugene, Oregon, and where he has been and everything he's gone through. And he's going to be on later tonight, so we're going to ask you some stories about him as well. But when you look at what that has meant to the University of Oregon, in terms of a recruiting tool, when you have Nike, Phil Knight, the Van Horns, the whole package, what's that like when you take that on the road?
Well, it's special. I think Kayvon said it a few years ago. It's not a facade. It's real. There's real relationships there. You're going to be in spring practice, and you're going to look at the sideline and see some key people with Nike there saying, "Hey, how's that fit? Does that work well with you?" And it's beyond that. There's so many pieces to that are special for our program that have made this really unique, and I think players want to be a part of that.
You hit on something that I was just talking to Aaron Puwasim. For those unfamiliar, he's one of his many hats that he wears is leading the equipment endeavors here at the University of Oregon Athletic Department. And I asked Pooh about that. Like, it can also be sort of a testing ground for Nike in that way. That's a cool part of this relationship.
Well, a lot of our guys will wear something that's never been worn before. It's for the first time, and it's an opportunity to try something out before it ever makes it to the NFL, before it makes it to another college team. They're trying it here.
Yeah. And the players play a big role in the design and the ideas of this. This is not just Nike and their team.
Yeah, they work hand in hand with our guys, and it's kind of funny. You think back to the beginning of Nike, and there was Phil trying on the shoes that Bill Bowerman was making.
Right.
We get to test out some of the stuff they make now. I think it's probably a little more comfortable and it works a little bit better. But it's been awesome for us.
You're telling me you've never tried to make a shoe with a waffle iron, Coach?
Never. A waffle. I've made a waffle with a waffle iron. Never a shoe.
Well, the jerseys are available at the Duck Store, I believe, now.
Going fast.
Okay, this is mine, so isn't it? Mine?
It can be.
Okay.
That's fine.
No, it's not yours. We'll work it out. All right, let's get to the game. Last week, you go to the video, you go to the doctor on Sunday. What were some of the takeaways from that game for you?
Well, some really proud moments and some moments of stuff like, okay, we got to work on it. I thought we put ourselves at a disadvantage at time at some of the situations we had to convert and create success. Offensively, we had to convert some third downs in critical situations to keep the chains moving. We had to score in a 2-minute drive right before half. So we made it harder on ourselves than it had to be. Yeah. Defensively, kind of the same thought process. Didn't stop them the way we need to on first and second to create some third and shorts that they were able to convert. And then we became really advantageous there going into the second quarter, the beginning of the third quarter, and really creating some momentum for us going to the second half. So some great learning lessons. Ultimately, walk away with a win in a dominant fashion, but a great opportunity for us to continue to improve.
I'm going to knock on wood as I ask you this question.
I know what you're going to say.
Are you sure you should ask? I mean,
we're going to find out. You got to be happy with the discipline of your team having a 0 penalty performance.
We found a penalty that should have been called.
Oh!
And it wasn't. So, yeah, I guess. I'm so satisfied that but there should have been one penalty definitely called on us, and I'll just leave it at that. Right. So even when everyone's praising you until you had no penalties, we found one that should have been called.
So there's always room for improvement.
There's room for improvement.
Right.
We find out that Dante Moore isn't Superman. He actually had an interception, which is not a good thing, but bad thing. But it looked like he was really in control. He just does not have the happy feet, the nervous look. He is a guy that has his football team feeling comfortable on the field.
Yeah, I always talked about Dylan's poise last year. I thought Dylan had really incredible poise. No moment too high, too low. Dante's really starting to show some of those traits, and he has complete command of the offense. Like I said, I thought we had him in some tough situations in the game the other day, and he was able to convert in those situations, kept his eyes downfield for the opportunity to make advantageous throws, and did a really good job.
You've talked about the way that game reps can matter, certainly are important, and Dante even this year has talked about just how he's getting more and more comfortable and talking with you. What's that relationship like from a head coach to a quarterback and gaining that poise over the course of a career?
Well, it's certainly one of the most important relationships there is on the team. I think that he knows I have an unbelievable amount of confidence in him with the way he preps and how he works. He's a really special person. I think it's unfair that our players get judged just on how they perform, right? And I was just visiting with some of our friends outside that the best thing about our team is we have unbelievable people. And Dante certainly is one of those people, but he's been given with some God-given talent too. And he's intelligent. And he has great players around him. And when you have that, you have a chance. You can't be a great quarterback unless the people around you play well. So Dante would be the first person to tell you that the people around him are creating opportunities for him to play well. He can't catch his own passes, right? And he can't block for himself. So he's done really, really well for us, and excited to see how he continues to grow.
Well, and on that, how about your pass catchers, Coach? Just what have you seen from them so far this season?
Yeah, some really good, right? We've got I think the one thing you're starting to figure out about this team is there's not one person that you can say, okay, let's take this guy away, and we kind of shut down who they are. We have a lot of weapons, whether it's tight end, running back, wide receivers, and a lot of guys that can move the chains for us, which is a big win.
You have a lot of running backs in that running back room, and you're using a lot of them, and they're all doing so well. And it all starts with that offensive line. But D.R. Hill Jr., when he took over on the edge, I thought, okay, there's the fastest guy on the team. But that may not be true. Is he the fastest guy on the team?
He's one of. I don't know that he's the fastest.
Okay.
No, he's close, though. He can run. It's good to have fast guys.
And you have a lot of depth there, as Jerry alluded to. I mean, it's nice to have that, and it continues in your running back room, it seems like.
That's right. Yeah, strength in numbers.
4 or 5 freshmen, maybe more, looking at special teams playing, starting and playing significant minutes. Is that unusual? I mean, in college football, do you see a lot of young guys?
I don't know that that's normal. No, that's not normal. We've got some guys that came in, and I always say if you're good enough, you're old enough, and these guys came in ready to play. And the ones that weren't, that are making an impact, they worked really hard to put themselves in position to play.
So when you are recruiting these kids, the freshmen coming in, when do you realize, is it some of them come in January, some of them don't get here until the fall? When do you realize, how long does it take to go, this kid is good enough to start?
Well, I mean, once you get on the practice field, that's when things start to reveal themselves. So if we're able to see guys in spring, that kind of gives you a good indication, but sometimes fall. But everybody's journey is different. I've had the first overall player drafted in the NFL draft that didn't start till his junior year, right? And I've been on the other end of that where, somebody plays a true freshman and then they weren't drafted, right? So it's unique. Everybody's experience is different. What we're really fortunate to have now is a lot of guys that can play winning football.
We used to see a lot of guys coming out of high school want to catch the ball, want to run the ball, but not block. That seems to me has changed over the last 5 to 8 years. You see more kids being taught that in high school now than they used to be?
I think they've always taught it. I used to coach wide receivers when I was a high school football coach.
Oh, okay.
And
you taught blocking.
That's all we did. That's all, Jerry, that's all we did in practice. I told them that you could catch the ball before and after practice and in team periods, but we blocked during practice. So I took a little offense to, what do you mean? I wasn't coaching blocking when I was a wideout? What I will say is when you have wideouts that block to a certain level, I think they realize the excitement they can create for the team and how much their teammates love them. And how much they love their teammates by how hard they work when they don't have the ball. And that's just a great indication of how hard do you go, because when wideouts and when tight ends and running back, when those guys block on the second level, that's how you create explosive plays and touchdowns.
Drilling that technique, I'm curious about that, Coach. Sounds like it's near and dear to your heart.
It matters
right?
to me, man.
Right? That technique's important with that.
We had this drill called the towel drill. We still do it to this day on our team, but that started at Park Hill South High School.
Let's go. What was the mascot?
The Panthers.
Let's go Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers.
Okay. So do you have the rights to that? Did you patent that block him?
No, I haven't patented anything. And I'm sure I got it from somewhere else.
But that's coaching, right?
That's coaching.
That's
borrow
nothing new.
Things.
It's our Pepsi Coaches interview brought to you by Pepsi, locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi. Here in our Country Financial Studio, we're going to take a break, come back, we'll talk more, and get into, obviously, what's coming up next weekend. That is Oregon State. All that coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially, like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give duck fans more for the things they care about, more for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
Football the way you like it.
Woo! That was some football.
The Oregon Ducks on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council. This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside our Country Financial Studio. They are part of our guest here tonight, along with Toyota, Pacific Southlands, and Dairy Mart, our friends who have joined us here tonight with the Coaches Show, brought to you by Pepsi, our Pepsi Coaches interview. Coach, before we get into any more about the team and the game, I want to talk to you about one of the guys I see on your staff who I saw a video and he explained what he had been through and where he is now. It's a spectacular, feel-good story. Dante Barty, can you tell us, how did he end up on your staff? A little bit about his story, because it's remarkable.
Yeah, Dante's a guy that I've known since I was coaching at Memphis. He was a high school coach in Arizona, and he actually came with some of his coaching staff to Memphis, and we talked football. And we've stayed in touch really ever since, and there was always looking for an opportunity where we could potentially link up. And even when I was at Georgia, we visited. When I came here to Oregon, he reached out and had an interest in being here as well. And I said, hey, man, if you want to be here, just drive out here. And we're not going to pay you, right? But come on out. And he started like that. That's how he started here. And then he's worked his tail off and become an invaluable part of our staff. He's extremely intelligent. He's a guy that loves football, that wasn't able to play football because of some adversity that he experienced while he was in high school himself. And now, he's given back to the game. And one of the many members of our incredible support staff that we have that help us coach and do a really good job.
He has an intensity about him. I mean, he's an intense coach.
For sure.
And then when I got a chance to talk to him, he just becomes a different person, just mild, gentle, shook my hand and said, happy to be here. But I just wanted you to know, he's a special guy. And you got a lot of them on your staff,
got a lot of
so
special
it's hard to single him out.
Yeah.
He seems like a guy who coached wide receivers on blocking.
He's a defensive guy. He's a defensive guy.
Coaching aside, what kind of teaching do you see going on between your veterans and your freshmen, true freshmen, redshirt freshmen? Because, coaching is a lot of it, but you've got to have that coercion on the field.
Yeah, there's a standard that's been established by our players, and you see them carry that through. Pancho's a guy that sticks out to me that you always hear him coaching on the football field. Bryce is a guy you see always coaching on the football field. And those are the moments that get you really excited as a coach. I mean, at the end of the game last week, we had some other players in there in the game, and there's some of our guys that are on the sideline just as engaged, coaching like they're the coaches, right, in those moments when they were just on the field, moments before. So I think that's a win for us when we can create that kind of environment.
Coach, talking about that, it kind of stems to the next question I was going to ask you, which is culture, right, in your locker room. And, fans see some of it, Ducks versus them, and you've talked about some of the activities, the way that you foster a culture. But I was hoping to ask you about that tonight, just the way that you go about fostering a culture and why you like the culture on this team right now, as you've discussed.
Yeah, I think it starts with identifying good people. And, yes, talent is a huge factor. You got to be talented. You got to have size, speed. There's some check boxes that have to be checked before you can ever join our team. But a big piece of that for us is bringing people to our organization that we think are great people. And we have a lot of great people in that locker room right now. We find ways to connect with each other outside of football. Guys that aren't afraid to go do some community service, to give back, to be involved in their church, to just to be great influences, on the community and have a bigger picture than just say, I'm an Oregon football player. And we got a lot of guys on our team like that right now.
One of your backs, I think it was back, said, and his name escapes me. It might have been Lamar. Yeah, Jade Lamar said. Somebody asked him, "What's your favorite play? When you want to carry the ball, you want to catch the ball. What's your favorite play?" And he said, "My favorite play is when I get the block for one of the guys carrying the ball."
Yeah.
You can't coach that kind of attitude, can you? I mean, didn't that come from the inside?
Yeah. I mean, we played Oklahoma State the other day, and the game's over, and Jaden had a good game. I think he's getting interviewed, and I said, "What was your favorite play?" He goes, "Oh, that one I got the block is an inside lead zone play, and it was a great block, but he wasn't carrying the rock." It wasn't one of the ones where they're talking about him on the highlight, right? But it was an unbelievable block, and I think that speaks again to the character of our players.
You talked so much about culture, and then you mentioned the talent too. I'm curious just to to zero in on that, like the talent of your roster and what you've seen now 3 games in. Where have you seen this team grow and maybe the talent level that you have?
Yeah, we've got good players. We've got good players here, and the key is growing. Right, we got to keep growing, and we're gonna have some real challenging opportunities throughout the season. Right, as the teams we play can continue to get tougher, but as our team grows, I think you'll see us continue to improve. But we have great talent on this team.
You're the head coach, but you come more from the defensive side. Although you said you did coach on the offensive side, but coming from where you did national championships, the defensive side, do you find yourself sort of migrating toward that and watching that, or the offense? How do you manage being a head coach?
Yeah, that's something that one you have to have unbelievable coaches that you can delegate to, and I'm really lucky that I could probably walk away and these guys would be able to run organizations. Like, we've got a lot of future head coaches on our staff. Coach Lapoy does an unbelievable job with the defense. Coach Stein does an unbelievable job with the offense. Coach Lorg with special teams, and then all of those guys have great support as well with, the guys they have on their staff. So what I've found is really important to me is to spend time on both sides, right? And obviously I get drawn to the defense certainly, but I map out my week, and every week on a Monday, this is where I'm at. And on a Tuesday, this is where I'm at. And on a Wednesday, this is where I'm at. And that allows me to make sure I'm interacting with everybody on the team, get to be a part of all the game plan. And I also want to take the time to make sure, hey, I like this or I don't, and make sure that's communicated and do a good job communicating that. And our staff does an unbelievable job of being able to execute that and have a vision for where we're headed.
You're watching, keeping track of so many different things all the time. On that note, NCAA today said they're going to go down to one transfer portal window. Just how does that change things for you? How do you attack that as a head coach?
Yeah, I think it makes the game better, right? I think it's going to give an opportunity for you to know who your team is in January and not necessarily find out who your team is in July. There's a lot of things that can change, and at least now having one window will be a little bit better. There's also a strain there in the fact that it could be happening while your season's still going on, which is not ideal. But I will always be an advocate for college football season ending around January 1st, around when that Rose Bowl window is supposed to be played. If that happens and then the window's right after that, I think that's ideal.
I'm curious about that, Coach. I know you've talked about this a little bit before. Why the first? Why do you like that individual?
Well, I think that's the beginning of a new semester now. When you get into January, you're talking about separating the opportunity of having a season and then building a new team for the next season. And I think whenever the season goes far into January, now you're starting to conflict with next season's team, the window of recruiting. The only month that I can go out as a head coach in recruiting now is January. Well, if you're still playing, you're not going to go out on the road. Right? So it really just limits your ability to build your roster, think for the future when there's still games being played. You're still trying to wrap up a previous season, and now you have newcomers showing up on your roster. And then not to mention to me, like, there's been a lot of places besides Division I football doing playoffs for a long time. Right. Well, now we're trying to mold playoffs into bowl games, and they're not the same. Right. Let's just kind of follow the model of every other playoff that exists. You play every week. Right. Every Saturday, the team that's the highest seed has a home game. That would be an unbelievable atmosphere for college football. And then whenever you get to the end of the playoffs, you play a championship game, and it doesn't have to be January 20th.
There's certainly a lot. I'm glad that you said that, because there's a lot of molding, and you're trying to fit a lot of different systems together.
Can't please them all.
Do you feel like, though, as a head coach and an influencer in the game, that there are more starting, or maybe not starting, that do feel the same way as you?
I think a lot of coaches feel. Yeah, I think a lot of coaches feel that way. The problem is we don't pay for the TV money that pays for the game.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So if you guys want to help me crowdsource, we could get build.
We'll do that.
That's what's really controlling it. I'm sure, right?
No, TV. No doubt about it.
The Pop-Tart Bowl, man. They're raising all that money. We got.
It's a great mascot for a bowl.
Okay. All right, we got a game this week. All right, we used to call it Civil War. It's hard for me to break that. I still say that sometimes, and when people call me from the East Coast, they call it the Civil War. It's a rivalry game, though.
Yeah.
You have enough kids on this roster that they probably get the word across about what this game means.
For sure, yeah. I mean, and if they don't know, we educate them. Right, we take the time. Early in the week, Ryan Walk stood up and talked to our offensive team and told them what this game means to them. Charlie Picker, some of the guys that have been on our team, coaches that have been here in the past, Koa, that have been a part of this game. So there's a lot of people in this building that recognize what it means, and the ones that don't, we're going to educate them on it.
One of them, Bryce Boettcher, he's coming up next segment. How have you seen Bryce grow, Coach? And getting this extra year, how special is it?
Oh, it's so special, man. When you coach people that you love, it makes it a lot of fun as a coach. And this game means a lot to Bryce, right? We've played 3 games now at this point. This is the first one that Bryce texted me at the beginning of the week telling me how he felt about it.
Yeah.
Right? And Bryce is he's a special person. You know, we do these reflections at the end of every week. What's kind of cool about his reflection from this past week, obviously he had a good game at Northwestern, but he talked about he wanted to create more disruption with the ball. He wanted the ball and on defense, and his way of doing that was sleeping with the football this past week, and he came away with an interception. So I think we need to get him to sleep with like 3 or 4 footballs in bed this next week, but that could be a fun question for him.
Well, I'm going to ask him about that. That was my next question for you. What else should I ask him tonight?
I don't know. I mean, one of the most interesting people in the world, like Bryce, falls into that category, right? So where it will go, I have no clue. But Bryce is, special. But you could ask him what he loves more, baseball or football. I think I know what his answer will be.
Yeah.
Especially this time of season.
Yeah.
So, but no, love coaching Bryce. Special one, makes our team better, and really glad he's on it.
Any chance he'll carry the football on the other side before this season's over? I mean, I'd love to see that football in his hands, see what he'd do with it.
Probably not. Okay. I mean, we have a hard enough time getting the ball to all of our backs.
That's true. You already have a lot. Quick word on the Beavers. They know what you do. You know what they do. It's about execution in this game, isn't it?
It is. It's about being the best version of us. And in these games, you can't ever make mistakes to give another team a head start. And if another team makes a mistake, you got to take advantage of them. So we're going to have to be good in all 3 phases of the game. Play our game. If we do that to the best of our ability, we're going to be sitting in a good spot.
Okay. We're going to ask Bryce Boettcher some questions about you, too. So
give him some good ones.
Okay.
Be careful, Bryce.
We're going to Pepsi coaches interview. Thanks for being with us, Coach. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And then, of course, this Saturday, Autzen Stadium, Oregon State, the rivalry game. We'll take the break. When we come back, Joey's got Bryce Boettcher in here. I still think Bryce should sit here and question Joey.
Agreed.
That's the way it should work. Back with more on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially, like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give duck fans more for the things they care about, more for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
There's more duck football around the corner.
Gets a first down and more. He got it in. Show me touchdown. Touchdown, Oregon.
60 seconds away on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. So good to see you.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, he is Bryce Boettcher, ladies and gentlemen. He's making his return on the Toyota Coaches Show. So Boettcher was just telling us he came from dinner, had chapel, did your meetings. How's the day been, Bryce?
Been great, man. It's same old Wednesday routine. But I get to add this in at the end, which is good.
Well, thanks for being here. Okay,
yeah.
I have a very serious question for you to start out.
What you got?
You already found the football on the desk.
Yep, I saw that.
We've got the miniature baseball bat. We've got the Nike glove that has never been broken in, Bryce, or we've got the baseball. What do you want to hold during your interview tonight?
I'll have to go with the baseball.
Baseball it is. All right. He can hold the baseball. I knew you'd need something to hang on to during the course of the interview. So I'll go with the football.
That's funny you said that because I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was saying that every time she saw me when I was little, it was either a ball, a bat, or something. I always had to have some sort of round object in my hand that I was walking around. So.
All right. Did you have a baseball or a football in your hand more often?
It'd be a question for her. I don't really know, but
Mrs. Boettcher, if we could
probably baseball because I started playing baseball first.
Okay, baseball's also smaller, right? Easier to hold when you're a kid. Yep. Okay, hard-hitting question then off the bat. You're selecting your home run derby team, but it's only Oregon football players. Who is in the bracket for the home run derby from the Oregon football roster?
Okay, how many guys are in the bracket?
Let's go 8.
Hey, guys. Mateo, for sure. I saw him in the celebrity softball game. He can swing it. He can actually swing it. I was impressed with Jerry Mixon. He can swing it a little bit, so we'll put him up there. Dylan Thieneman, he was good. Man, football players were stiff, man. There's not a lot of finesse in our game, but say Aaron Flowers. Never seen him actually swing a baseball bat, but I feel like he could grip it and rip it.
I like it.
We're going to say Dante. Dante's got a solid golf game. You know, those are 2 rotational sports, so that's 5.
And obviously you.
Yeah, so I'll be 6.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Go with an O-line. Oh, Tatum, Tuyoti.
Yeah.
Tatum was solid. He's a little rigid, little stiff when he swings it.
He needs a little coaching.
Yeah. Who else? Who's going to be our sneaky 8th guy? Go with Poncho.
All right.
Poncho could compete.
Good vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you know, out the baseball field, you need some good music and good vibes, and he brings good energy.
So now, who's winning the home run derby?
Oh, me, of course.
All right. Who are you beating in the final?
I'd say Mateo.
Mateo's,
yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Bryce Boettcher is the best baseball player on the Oregon football team. We're really shocked to find this out. I was gonna ask you, like we've done the basketball starting 5 before.
Yeah.
And I was curious, if you're building out your baseball roster, what your starting 9 would be. And it occurred to me, I don't know.
Yeah.
Home run derby is a little bit easier, right?
Yeah, it is a little bit easier. That's funny you say, because when we did that softball game in July, I was looking at the lineup, and I was like, who do I put where? Trying to like
Aiden Breland, athletic, right?
Yeah,
Did
Aiden Breland, he was a good first baseman, and we had Nate Biddle, and I was like, okay, you're 7 feet tall, you're gonna go first, and I put Mateo at third base because he seemed like a big body, I might be able to body a ball up, but it's pretty fun.
One of the many things that you've participated in is that celebrity softball game benefits the local community. Just how cool was that to go through and be a part of that, Bryce?
It was super cool, man. I mean, I saw Justin did it the past 2 years, and obviously he took a break this year, but so to be a part of it and help out local kids in Eugene, because I was once one of those kids doing kid sports and being involved in the community as a youth. And to see everyone show up, it was pretty special.
Now, on that note, just you talk about the community. I know this game means something to you.
Yeah, a little bit.
What does it mean to you, Bryce?
What does it mean to me, man? I mean, it's bragging rights. I got a lot of friends and family that split Oregon and Oregon State. I feel like I've done a pretty good job converting most of those OSU fans to Oregon fans over the years with our success. But yeah, you got UW, who's another rival, but being from the state of Oregon, this was a game I grew up coming to all the time, going up to Reeser. So it's one that I love, and especially with baseball too. It's not just football, it's baseball, it's all the sports. There's definitely I got recruited by Oregon State a little bit, and there's some more stories about my baseball recruitment that adds, some throwing fuel on the fire, I guess you would say.
Right.
I haven't quite told that story, but we can talk about that after this. So, yeah, I don't like the Beavers. Never have.
But look, you grow up that way, right? It's hard to let that go, and I think that speaks though so much to what I think is cool about rivalries in general, right? You're just, I would say, a sports fan, but the rivalries, dude, they get the juice going for the right reasons usually, right?
Oh, for sure. And everyone's like, oh, we got to approach the same game the same, which I agree. You got to get fired up for every single game you play.
Sure.
But it's I mean, yeah, I'm going to be more fired up to play the Beavers than I'm going to play Northwestern. Like, let's be honest. So.
But then the mental fortitude to still get fired up for Northwestern, right?
Oh, for sure. And I mean, that's why our theme of the week last week is we got to bring our own juice. Got to be a fire starters because in that environment. That's what we needed to do.
How was it, by the way? I mean, so we were talking about it from our vantage point. It was the lowest we've been to call a football game since any of us called high school football. How was it for you guys on the field?
It felt like I was playing at South Eugene High School.
Did it really?
Yeah. No, cool. You had the purple in the stands, the purple and the white. You
were right at home.
There was about 12,000 people there. Maybe we had like 800 at South Eugene tops. But no, it was funny because after I got the pick, I was running, made a couple moves, hit a little spin move, and I go over to the sideline, and Coach B. Mike looks at me, and he's like, just like South Eugene High School, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm like, quarterback days coming up, yeah.
Quarterback days coming back. How many picks did you have in high school?
Not that many. I think I only had like 3.
Okay. Threw more touchdowns than you had interceptions.
I did. I think I had 3 or 4.
So more interceptions. Is that right? More interceptions than in your college career than in your high school career?
I'd have to, I've had 2 in college.
2 in college.
Like I said, I think I had 3 or 4 in high school, so not yet, but hopefully by the end of the year.
That's right,
yeah.
by the end of the year. Okay, Now on the interception, Coach Lanning mentioned to us that you slept with a football.
Oh, man, yeah, I did. Crazy. During fall camp, the past 3 years, I've always had like 1 or 2 gimme interceptions. The quarterback will mess up, he'll throw it right to you.
Sure.
I didn't have any this year, so I was like, what's going on? I'm playing good ball.
Jerry Mixon can't get all the linebacker picks.
Exactly. So I was seeing that. I was like, I gotta do something with the ball. I gotta treat, So 2 weeks ago, I was like, okay, I brought a ball home. Started just like literally like praying to the football. I was like, I need a damn pick. I need something because the ball will change your life on defense if you get the ball away.
That's right.
So I was like, okay, I need to make an adjustment last week. So I literally started sleeping with the ball. I put it in my bed on Sunday, Monday pick, Tuesday 2 picks, Wednesday pick. Game pick. I was like, wow.
So you're still sleeping with the football then?
Still in my bed, yep. Okay. Tonight, I'm cuddling up with the football.
All right. I get it. I mean, look, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right? You do what you got to do. He's Bryce Boettcher. We're going to get a timeout. We're going to come back, talk a little bit about baseball. Haven't even talked about the uniforms for this week yet. You're looking at the uniform model here in the studio. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially. Like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give Duck fans more for the things they care about. More for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your Duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit.
More Duck football comes your way in 60 seconds.
That ball came out, and Oregon has it.
On the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, the Toyota Coaches Show. He's Bryce Boettcher. I'm Joey Mack, welcoming you back. we're just talking about baseball. So we have talked about this a lot. You've addressed it. Like, it's different getting your body ready for baseball than it is for football. So just how nice is it at this point in the season that your body was so football ready? Like, do you feel a difference at this point in the year compared to other years in the past?
I do. I feel like in the past, obviously took some time to get into football shape, put on that weight, and then like I wasn't as strong, obviously, so there'd be bumps and bruises and things where I'm like, man, where now I feel like I got some extra body armor on, and practicing the games, I'm striking dudes, and it's like I feel good.
So you're getting a chance to really live out the dream, right? Like, get the other year of eligibility. Just, I know you've talked about this a little bit. Like, you've taken some time to look around and take it all in. Just tell fans about that. Like, how special is it? You have a smile on your face. Seems like every time this comes up.
Yeah, it's surreal, man. Like I was at an interview yesterday, and I was saying, like, after practice, I just pulled out a chair, sat in the end zone, and kind of just like looked around, which is good for me. I usually don't do that. That's probably why I've had the success I've had, because I'm a very like head down, working hard all the time kind of guy. So to have that moment and be able to realize that, and have that self-awareness that obviously I'm still working hard and doing my thing, but to take the time to enjoy everything has been pretty special.
I call that a veteran move. That's a veteran move. Now, this came up today. Coach Lanning was talking about how you've had to even adjust your practice habits a little bit since coming since coming onto the team.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I was running a lot my freshman year, a lot, like around the goalposts, and it's like I would do it, and I'd come back, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stop. I can't until I literally told I was like, until I'm starting in a football game, I'm not gonna stop. Because I coming out, we talk about connection and whatnot, but I was like the new guy, just came in the summer. I didn't really have a lot of friends on the team, so like I saw number 22. I don't know who the hell that is. I'm just gonna knock him out. And it was Noah Whittington, who's like one of my best friends on the team now. So, and then, there's Buck Urey, number 0. I don't know who the hell that is.
That's a linebacker mentality.
Yeah, I'm just going to knock him out, too, until, Coach Locke wants to fight me and Lanning send me around the goalpost. But, hey, it worked out. Next year, they moved me to linebacker, and I got to start in my first game ever. So, I definitely had to adjust over the years, and now I'm taking care of my teammates.
But that's that instinct, right? Like, it's hard to break that habit. Right? Isn't it? Yeah. I mean, because you say you want to practice like you're going to play. Well, you were doing that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'm curious as you think back to on like your evolution. And it came to me when I was thinking about like practice. I was like, when you were on special teams, that's how you were getting your reps in, and people were recognizing you. Like, I imagine that on special teams you got after it, and that's what we're kind of talking about here, right?
For sure. Like there was, that's why they put me on kickoff originally, is Coach Lorg and Lanning, and I just saw that I ran fast and hit hard. So even when I was on kickoff, like it'd be like Thursday, which Thursday it's not a walkthrough, we still have pads on, but it's slowed down tempo. Like I'm running down full speed on kickoff, laying out Bucky, and they're like, oh my God, what are we gonna do with this guy? But yeah.
And then you found a way to channel it.
I did, which is needed, man. Like looking back at it, I got in some fights in practice. I don't know how I didn't get in more fights like every day, because if I was the offense, I would have been pissed. But oh well.
That's a defensive guy right there, right? That's a defensive guy. And coming in though, playing in the secondary, right?
Yep.
I mean, so you move forward. At what point were you like, oh, this linebacker thing can work for me?
I'd say, honestly, once I started out camp, like originally it was in spring ball. Again, I laid like a massive hit on Jaden Lamar, and Coach B. Mike came up to me and he was like, you ever thought about playing linebacker? And I'm like, hell no. Like, look at me. I'm 195. Like, I'm not playing linebacker. And it's like, I play baseball. And then after the spring game, they made the transition, and I'm kind of like, no way. And I put on the weight, worked hard, I did it, and then football's football. Like, linebacker, you have to react a little quicker. You got to deal with the big boys up front, which sucks at times. But, football's football,
That's why you put on that extra body armor.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
No, clearly it's worked well, right? Clearly it's worked out. I'm curious, too, and I've asked you this before in ways, but as a guy who grew up here, we've talked about it, and just your story, what would you tell the young Oregonians that are tuned in? Like, hey, this could help you realize a dream like I'm realizing right now, what would you tell
him? One, work hard, keep your head down, never give up, and a lot of times success is not going to come in the way you think. Like, a lot more days than not, especially in the career that I've had, there's going to be days that don't look good, negative things happen, you don't think you're going to make it, and then all of a sudden one day it's just like, whoa, how did that happen? You know, it's not like a perfectly paved road that, like, I'm going to do this, this, and this, I'm going to end up in playing college ball, go to the NFL, whatever it may be. And I feel like a lot of people can contest that. It's not just sports. Like, success is, you know, a long, weird road, and it's a weird way that happens. Like, I thought I was done playing football my senior year of high school.
Right.
You know, and here I'm sitting here just because I love what I do, and, you know, I work hard, and, you know, obviously I've been blessed with a lot of people around me that have helped me out, and obviously God. So it's, you know, just keep faith and work hard.
Well, to that point, I thought it was very fitting that here we are celebrating something so special to the university, to the state. These uniforms pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Bryce,
I didn't even notice that.
You got to be a big integral part of this. So I know you've talked about it a little bit, but for the audience tonight, just what was the whole process like and being there in that moment and even just from start to finish? Tell fans about it.
Yeah, I mean, originally we have like a uniform committee. There's a couple of guys on it with Kenny, and talked about the idea of the uniform, and we're like trying to figure out when to wear it. Even if like Phil was going to say yes or no, we still had to go about that time. And I was like, hey, we should wear it against Oregon State. It's the last time they're on our schedule for a while, in-state game. Phil's from Oregon. They're like, okay, we'll do it then. So then we planned to go visit Phil in his suite at Hayward during track nationals. So Kenny had asked me if I want to be the spokesperson. So I said, heck yeah, man. Like, I'd love to. You know, kind of rehearsed it with Coach Lanning and a couple guys from Nike, figuring out what we were going to do. And we were there for about an hour. So we're really trying to dial it in. And then, you know, as he's coming up, we're like, do we even try to do it? Should we rehearse it again? Like, is this good? Went with it. And it was amazing. Like, on point. Lanning's part was awesome. And the video they played was amazing. Obviously, all the details incredible. And, you know, they made it, Coach Lanning and, you know, Kenny made it seem that, like, if it came from a player saying that the jersey is from us, you know, the city of Oregon and the community, just as a thank you, that he would, you know, say yes to being that. Because, I mean, he's a very humble guy. Nothing here is named after him or Penny, really. I mean, everyone knows it's because of them, but it's not. So, yeah, that was kind of my part, just letting him know that it's from the team, from us, and really, like, my family, you know, the city of Eugene, the whole state of Oregon, and sports as a whole. So it was pretty cool to see his reaction, and he was thrilled.
Well, you were the perfect person to go through that process. And, Bryce, I say this every time we talk with you, could do it for hours, which means you're just going to have to come back another time. You got another year in you? You can get another year of eligibility?
You want to be my attorney? We could go for another
Let's do it. Let's do it. Bryce Boettcher. Once a duck, always a duck. Thanks, Bryce.
Thanks,
Appreciate you taking
Appreciate
the time.
You, man.
We're going to get timeout, come back, and wrap things up, getting ready for the Beavs on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Throw it into the end zone. Was it caught? Yes! Touchdown!
Back to the action in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I've been
That was great. Bryce Boettcher is
he's
one
special.
One of one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's special.
Bryce Boettcher,
really is.
one of one. Jerry's back.
I'm back. Rivalry week. Been through a few of these. I mean, it's. I kind of wish that Jordy was here because he has a little more of an emotional feeling for this game. Never going to pick him again.
That's
never going to pick him again.
That's one way to put it. Look, I love this game.
I do too.
I get up for it every time. This is what it's all about.
The reason I love this game is because that every year over Thanksgiving, people are throwing mashed potatoes and gravy and slinging around. And I mean, because you got Oregon and Oregon State fans in the same family, and it's just crazy. And that week building up to it, people are chipping and saying things, and then whoever wins, then you drag your tail in, and you just kind of like, I didn't go to the game.
All
How
year.
did it turn out? Yeah. Oh yeah. I did
year.
all year long. So no, it's an in-state rivalry, and I hope they get it back. I really hope they get it back.
Bryce Boettcher said it also today, talking with the media in the HTC press room, that it comes down to the trenches. Like, again, you got to execute.
Yeah.
Coach Lanning made that a point tonight. Got to execute.
And they struggled a little bit against Northwestern last week in the trenches.
Sure.
So I'm sure that was a point of emphasis this week. Noon o'clock start.
Noon o'clock.
West Coast time. Noon o'clock. 10 in the morning, we'll be on our pregame show, and we'll get a couple of hours of interviews and all kinds of highlights for you, getting ready for the game. Used to call it Civil War.
In-state.
In-state rivalry. Doesn't have the same ring. You know what it is. We'll be there. You join us. If you can't be there, you listen to us. We'll tell you all about it. Have a great week.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly